Hey there, friends. Happy Friday. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're bringing you props from the past, all the way from the year 2013. This is an old one, everybody.
It looks like it was uploaded the day after your birthday.
It was. Look at that. April 5th, 2013. Yeah. This is obviously from the basement. It's fantastic. This is a tutorial that I made about photography, one of my favorite subjects. There are a handful of little things you can do to make your photos a little better when you're making pictures of your props. That's what we were trying to teach in this video.
And a fun fact, if you're newer to our channel, the name Punished Props comes from Punished Pixels, which was Bill's photography blog.
Yeah, I ran that for a few years. It's not around anymore, so don't go looking for it. But I do have a Flickr page. If you want to find some of my photos, you can go check that out. Ready to dive in, Britt?
Yes.
All right, here we go, everyone. Hold on to your butts.
I don't think I've seen this since.
All right, let's see it. Yeah. Oh, no, that's good. Hold it. Yeah, that's good. Chin out. Yeah. A little bit. Yep.
Like the hat?
You got it. Yeah, that's a Ladies Elite shirt I have
perfect.
on, too.
Hold it right there. Oh, no, turn just a little bit. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's good, but I need more. Just a little more. Okay, no,
Let's try to be like
less.
that
Right there, you got it.
stereotypical
Yeah.
photographer.
You want to do some without paint? Want to do some bare plastic? Yeah. No, I'm okay. I'm okay with it if you're okay with it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Oh. Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah, look at that raw
You are
casting.
going places. This is hot. A little bit more. A little more.
That was
out.
really
I need
creative
more.
skit, though.
Yep. Right there. You got it.
I think this is Everett's music.
Perfect.
I think you're right.
Wait,
Very
it's
nice.
either that or the belt song. It's hard to tell.
I think this one's Everett.
Definitely. That was a really cute intro.
I'm glad I had a unpainted one to go with the joke.
Well, that was back when you used to sell castings.
Yeah. Oh, and I was still calling this prop culture until Disney took that name, which you should go watch Prop Culture on Disney Plus. Dan Lanigan is the host, and it's amazing.
And it's not that they took the name. We haven't used it for years.
No, that's right.
And it's a great name.
All right, let's hang out in the basement.
Hey, welcome to Prop Culture, your look into the world of replica prop and costume making. I'm your host, Bill Duran, and today we are talking about photography. That's right, photography.
I'm just looking at the background. I don't know about you, at all this stuff.
Well, I'm just noticing the framing, really.
Yeah.
It's very wide.
My old drill press. That's my old Harbor Freight drill press that I gave to Nate.
What's this up there above the light?
Calendar.
Oh, okay.
That's a calendar.
You might be thinking,
So
but
that I can
Bill,
get things done
I
on
want to
time.
make props. I want to make costumes. Why is photography so important? Well, I'm going to tell you. A little piece of me dies every time I see someone build something that is truly amazing and put weeks and weeks of effort into something, and then taking a picture in the dark corner of a Calcutta slum. So my goal today is to give you a couple of pointers so that you are well prepared to take excellent photos of your hard work. The first
I believe the cardboard box in the background that says PVC, I believe that is all of my PVC pipes
Is there a knife sticking
in that
out
one
of it?
tiny little box. It's hard to tell.
thing you can do is just go ahead and hire or convince a photographer friend to take photos for you. Right now, cosplay photographers are all over the place, and there are some that are supremely talented and will take pictures of you when you're at a convention. Just
Our buddy Harrison from Vulpin Props, his pal Dan Almacy is who he gets whenever he needs to get really nice photos of his props. And they're so good. Dan is way better of a photographer than Harrison or I ever will be. So it's a good example of once you finish your really, really cool thing, bring it to your photographer friend, have them take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would probably appreciate having a different kind of subject than normal. So,
yeah. And of course, pay them, or at least offer to pay them.
Yeah.
recently, I was at PAX East, and my friend Sonia from SoulFire Photography
That's right.
took some really cool photos of me in
Hey.
my costume, and they definitely turned out better than anything that I could have taken myself.
Truth.
So-
Both she did my costume and your Chandra costume.
Yeah, the Planeswalker one.
Yeah, and we have those printed and hanging in our house.
That was like that was at PAX East, and we had to go out in the cold. It had like snowed.
That's right.
And that was like a hallway in front of a hotel that was like closed. We couldn't get inside.
Yeah.
And she just like figured out a fun shot to do.
She had a gelled light
Yeah.
to get a little kick of red in there, and it looked great.
Yeah, I was just really impressed how she was able to quickly come up with a fun way to shoot that costume.
Yeah, right on the spot.
Yeah.
It's great.
I highly recommend, if you have the opportunity to have someone else who is a professional and good at taking photos, take a picture of your prop or costume work, that you go for it. Now, barring that, let's say you don't have anyone around to take pictures of you, and you want to take pictures of your work by yourself. Well, I've got you covered. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use my iPhone, this guy right here, with this fancy new case I just got.
Is that the same phone?
That's the iPhone 4S, I believe.
Okay.
But that case, that metal case that's on it, I found last week when I was digging through my Greeblies.
Yeah, it was in this week's vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering because our phones we currently have we've had for many years.
They have changed sizes a little bit over the
Okay.
years. I've had like 4 or 5 different iPhones. Yeah, and they're all just slightly bigger. So I don't think that case will fit on my current phone.
Oh, okay.
I also have cameras like this Panasonic LX5, which is a very nice point-and-shoot camera. And I also have my DSLR. But I realize that most people don't have fancy pants cameras and probably have a camera phone. So I'll take all my pictures with the camera phone to prove to you that you don't need a fancy camera to get good photos.
And geez, how many years later?
Yeah.
Camera phones are.
I was going to say, like, the back of a newer iPhone, not the one, I have an iPhone SE. We both do.
Oh, that's the one we have now.
The really newer ones have like 3 different lenses and sensors on them. Like they have a wide and a telephoto, and in portrait mode, it's bonker. In the 7 years since this video came out, camera phone technology has gotten pretty outrageous.
They do like high dynamic range and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Not my phone, mind you. No, I have an old iPhone, but the newer ones.
You have a
first
filter
thing you can do
on
to make
yours
your
called
photos-
shop dust.
Yeah,
The shop
that's
dust
just
filter.
it's inside the lens. It's a permanent filter.
Of your work stand out from everyone else's is to change the setting. Now, for your, let's say, work in progress photos, you might just take a picture of your prop laying on the bench, and that's fine. But for your final photos where you really want to show it off, you can change the background, you can go to a remote location. Here's an example. These are some insulation sheet plastic thingies.
We still have those.
Look at that. These are about $2 a pop, so I grabbed 10 of these to use for my Kerrigan rifle photo shoot.
Oh, it's Aaron.
Yeah, the
And I
ghost
just
rifle.
duct taped
Yeah.
them up on the wall.
Erin is one of our very best friends. In fact, she's the one who's mostly responsible for getting us into cosplay. She did a Kerrigan costume when we did, in 2010, when we did StarCraft costumes.
Well, that one was just for a photo shoot.
Yeah, so when I made the rifle a couple of years
Yeah.
later, she grabbed a couple pieces from that costume and we did a little photo shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was Ghost Kerrigan and I was Zerg Kerrigan.
Yep.
And she had cool lights in her suit and everything.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
sequence EL wire.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
she just learned how to solder
This
them
was in
together.
2010.
It was very impressive.
It very much was.
Actually, it was a garage door, and bam! Suddenly, when you can't tell what the backdrop is supposed to be, it could be anything, some sort of sci-fi hangar bay or whatever it is. What's important is that people don't identify the background and they focus on the work that's in front of it.
And that's a really good tip. So
Still good.
far, we have a counter going. One really great tip from Bill.
For me personally, I've got a really dingy wall over there in my shop that looks
I
like
miss that wall.
maybe it's got a little water damage. Yeah. It is worrying for my shop, but it makes a really great backdrop, so I will often shoot.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. The next and most important thing you can do for your photos is
What are you gonna get? What do you think it is?
Light? Okay.
That would be my guess.
I was
you
distracted.
have a lot of light.
Lot of
The
light.
easiest
of
way,
light.
of course, is to just go outside.
Yeah.
The sun will provide you with all kinds of light, way more than you need. And even on a cloudy day in Seattle, you can still get some really, really cool photos just by taking your work outside and snapping a few photos in front of a nondescript wall.
Yeah.
If you have something more
That looks
formal
fine.
set up that you want to do and it's going to be indoors, then you're going to have to get yourself some lights. Ta-da! These are just can lights that you can get from the hardware store, and they're like $5 to $10 a pop. You might be able to find them cheaper elsewhere if you look around. I have like 6 of these in my shop that I just use anyway, and when it's time to take photos or video, I'll grab them and I'll clamp them onto things. And I have bulbs. We have your compact fluorescent bulbs. These tend to be a little colder if you want that look. And these are just normal incandescent bulbs. And I do believe I got all of these from the hardware store. So we're talking for like 20 or 30 bucks, you'll have a whole lighting setup. You have everything you'll need.
What Bill meant when he said colder is that the light tends to be more blue with some fluorescence, and then some incandescents tend to be more warm, like a more orangey color.
Like the bulb hitting my face right now is an incandescent bulb, and it is definitely a warmer on the color. The light color. It goes from warm to cold, like yellow to blue, kind of.
And someday we'll have a shop set up that's consistent, but like, we have different colored lights in the shop. We've always had that problem, and we just roll with it. We're not going for the consistent look.
My camera white balance is set to auto.
Yeah,
that's just that's not how I prefer. I would prefer to shoot, but the environment that we film in there are too many variables outside our control. Yeah.
For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to be using this subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have that.
This is a kit that I got from my pal.
Still have it. It's right over there.
Props. This is the N7 Valkyrie rifle, and I assembled the kit myself and painted it.
It's all Mass Effect props on the
I figured
table.
It would be a nice.
We were doing a lot of Mass Effect stuff then.
Photo adventures. So here's the first shot. This is in my bedroom.
There's a lot of cat fur
in the dark, and it looks terrible. You can barely see the object, and you can tell it is on the floor of a dirty bedroom. For the second shot, you can see I've moved to a new location.
Hey.
I've got it sitting on top of a plastic bin, and the backdrop is some of those insulation plastic thingies. This is just with room lights, so there isn't a light directed right at the subject, and it's obviously not enough light.
I think something that surprises people when they start taking photos is how poorly lit a lot of rooms are.
Yeah.
Right?
Because your eyes can see stuff like just fine, because your eyes are really good cameras.
Yeah, but especially in low light, you're like, oh, I can see enough to navigate around this room. I'll just snap a photo of that thing. And your camera's like, it's basically pitch black to me. And that's how you end up getting a photo like this.
You can see there was some camera shake, and it looks kind of crummy. This shot is with just one of those can lights and an incandescent bulb pointed at it. Now you can start to see that a little more details coming out of the gun, but still not great. Here we go with two lights.
Ooh.
Much better, obviously, and if you only have two lights, then this will probably do. But while it is still getting better, what happens if we add 4 lights?
Whoa!
This shot has 4 lights in it,
Nice.
and a couple of them are pointing at the gun from behind. Not only does this fill the whole photo with all kinds of light, but also it gives sort of a nice rim effect to the edge of the top of the gun.
That's something else that a lot of people tend to forget about when they're taking a photo of something is you have your subject in the background, usually. You may have something in the foreground, but usually there's a subject and there's something behind it. And if the subject is like a gun that you just made, you want people to focus on that. So anything you can do to separate your subject from the background will help.
Yeah.
You can move the background far away so that it's out of focus and less detail. You could put a haze behind it. Like we have a
Bob Ross style?
Yeah, we have a can of green hairspray.
Yeah, it's like a almost like fog in a can.
Right, like it's invented for the play Hairspray, I think, so that you can be on stage pretending to spray your hair and it shows up, but it just eventually evaporates. We have a can of that somewhere. We used to. And it makes just a sort of a gentle haze. You could spray that behind your prop. And we've done that on some of our photos.
It's amazing how creative you can get too. I remember seeing a photographer at BlizzCon was running around with an assistant who had a giant light with it was either a gel or a way to change colors on the light, and it would flash on when the picture was taken, so it was synced up to the camera. And the assistant had a little spritzer water bottle and would be behind the subject and would spray the water in front of their light behind the subject, and when the photographer took the picture, the light would flash and it would catch all of this water in the air in the color of the light. So it would be like a textured water mist behind the subject, and you did not know they were at BlizzCon. Like the lighting there was really dark.
That's so cool.
It was like, and that was their thing. Like they had a whole album of these pictures with these different colored like splashes of water mist.
And was it
behind
different
them.
colors?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
Like this was like might be my first BlizzCon,
Yeah.
and I was just like, that's really creative. It was like their thing. It was their, or it was just like maybe an experiment they wanted to do. And
Yeah,
like
that sounds fun. That sounds like an experiment I want to do.
Yeah,
we have
like,
spray bottles,
and it's so easy to move different lights around too, to just try out different things.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about digital photography. Is
Yeah.
move your lights around, take a photo. Move your lights around, take a photo. And the example we just looked at, one of the other ways you can differentiate your subject from the background is if you backlight it. So if we had a light on Britt's head here, hey, I have a flashlight in my pocket.
Oh, this is perfect.
This is great. If you have a rim light, right? So this is a really extreme because it's a flashlight, but you can get an edge of light around the side of Britt's head like that. And if it's not a flashlight, if it's a big old light, it creates this line of brightness that separates her head from the background.
Yeah. If it wasn't a flashlight, it would be easier to see.
Yeah, something a little bit more
Yeah.
wider. Yeah.
But yeah, that rim light really does separate it. It's another great idea.
If you have a couple of lights, like 2 or 3 lights for your prop photo setup, if you have like a third, like an extra one, try making it a backlight. Like just point it down at the back of your subject.
For a shot from my iPhone, that is pretty darn good. Got 4 lights on it. I would feel pretty good posting this online. The other thing you can do is take some close-up shots of some of the areas that you're most proud of. What I like to do is take a whole bunch of shots and then pick a couple that are my favorite and post just those ones online. Finally, here's
I like to reiterate that. So I've done lots and lots of photography, and I have taken tens of thousands of photos, and I've posted hundreds of them, which is to say a small portion of the photos I take ever make it online. Take a lot of photos because you can fill up your whole memory card for free, but be really selective about your favorites.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can get burnout when you're looking through an album if it's all the same subject. So you want to make sure that people look and see the shots that you're the most proud of, and if you bury them in like an album of 20 photos of all the same subject, they're not going to look at them all.
When I finish a prop, I will post 4 or 5 photos of it. That's about it.
And that's different than progress photos. Like post all your progress photos, but like for your finished thing, it's almost like treat it like not a resume. What do you call it when your portfolio? You don't want to have 5 pictures of the same prop in your portfolio. Maybe like 2 or 3, or just 1.
Yeah, but take a lot.
Yes.
And then be picky.
Digital's great like that. You didn't get into. I was wondering if you would just the idea of bouncing light off of white surfaces.
Yeah, I didn't do that at all.
Because if you don't have enough light sources, it's amazing how a white surface will bounce the light back.
Yeah.
It works insanely well.
Or even just like I have a folder here with this light coming in. If I bring it up here, look how the side of my face gets more lit up.
Yeah.
And it takes on a little bit of the yellow from the manila folder.
That's really
there.
cool.
Yeah, that's kind of subtle, but if I wanted to kick some light into my eye, I can do it that way.
Yeah, I think you did a little bit of it in this week's vlog when you're showing off your camera gear.
That's
you had
right,
a little, below the Samaritan, you had a little piece of white, like foam core, and it bounced the light back up onto the prop.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a great way to just, like if you have a white wall next to your prop, just shine a light on the wall and it'll bounce it right back.
Right. Or even a piece of colored paper. If you want to kick some color back, you can do that too.
That'd be really cool.
comparison shot between my finished photo taken with my phone and that same photo taken with the DSLR. While the DSLR photo is clearly better, it's got a little more dynamic range and a little bit better depth of field going on, you can still tell that the camera phone shot is pretty darn good.
When I talk about depth or dynamic range, it's basically like the range from light to dark that camera can capture in one photo is like, let's say it's this much range, and for the phone, the DSLR can capture more lights and more darks. So it's got a wider range of value it can pick up. That's the most obvious difference when it comes to like, especially older cameras and like more expensive DSLRs. But they're all pretty good at it now, and most phones now have an HDR mode anyway.
Yeah.
That does a really good job of scrounging together the extreme highlights and darks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, you just need enough light. So if you're like at a convention and it's dark and you're running around with your cell phone, you look at the pictures you took later and they're all blurry. There just wasn't enough light.
Yeah, exactly.
The phone has to capture the image longer to get enough light for the image, and that means any movement in your subject or you.
Yeah, it turns into blur.
Yeah.
I just realized that old air compressor is still in the shop there.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at my old Husky air compressor that died.
Yeah, it didn't last with you very long.
No.
So, you have no more excuses. Go start taking some really good photos. Hopefully these tips are going to help you out, and I hope that I see a lot of really good photos that you guys are taking of your work.
And I have.
Please
in the past 7
share
years.
your work with me. I would be happy to help out if you have any questions about your photography. And please share this video. I'm getting a lot of good responses on YouTube and talking back and forth with people in the comments, and I'd like to make that happen some more. So share this video, tweet me at Chinbeard, and check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/punishprops.
Yeah. I think I'd like to point out that at the time when we recorded this, we had less than, I think, 2,000 subscribers on YouTube.
That was before we had our Instagram. That was before
I didn't even use Instagram.
I don't even think we really used Twitter for Punish Props yet.
Yep, this is our 2nd year on YouTube.
Until the next video, go take some good pictures. See you guys.
Should I have an outro for that? No. Well, why would you want a succinct outro?
That was great.
It was great. Still a lot of really good information that's still very valid and useful today.
We did do a video since then, which goes over more of taking photos of a cosplay subject. We'll link that down below. It was focused on Bill's brother and his wife in their Overwatch costumes. We went out to a location and Bill did shooting, and that's a great video too. I did want to recommend 2 resources. The first is the DSLR video shooter, Caleb's channel on YouTube. He does pure photography. He does, camera reviews if you're looking for a certain kind of camera recommendation. But he's obsessed with light and getting lights to do cool things in shots and making his background really interesting, but not too interesting. Like, he just goes on about that. It's really informative.
And he does really good recommendations for gear at different price points.
Yeah, that too, and like clever setups. And so it's DSLR video shooter. It's great content. And if you're looking for something more on the film side, but also goes over DIY tips for lighting and stuff, Film Riot, obviously.
They're buddies of ours, and they are just the best kind of people.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much you can just absorb from just watching their videos, and they're very entertaining. They have like years of a backlog. Go back, like 5 years and start watching there. So yeah, that's what I got.
That's going to wrap it up for us. Hope you guys enjoyed this look down memory lane. Hope you are well and safe out there. Take it easy. Take care of one another. Thank you so much for the support, and Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you in the new year.